All right, the Rantcast is back, and we are continuing on with this NDP platform. Specifically, the section about the mental health overhaul, the mental health system overhaul. We will update and implement the outstanding recommendations of the Select Committee. And based on the Auditor General's 2016 recommendations, we will start measuring and publicly reporting wait times, develop an overall strategy to reduce wait times, including setting wait time targets, set a timetable for developing mental health standards, explore the need for new dedicated mental health emergency departments. We will ensure that when people need help, it'll be there for them. We will hire 2,200 new mental health care workers, including counselors, social workers, case managers, system navigators, and assertive community treatment staff. I was also just thinking about those people that drive around in like the outreach services van, and they just go and hit people up on the street. Let's see. Allowing 28,000 more Ontarians to access the services they need every year, including services ranging from psychotherapy to help in navigating complex systems of care. We will also hire 400 new mental health workers to ensure every high school has access to mental health supports, funded through the elimination of EQAO. We will invest in 30,000 new supportive housing units over the next 10 years, building at least 3,000 every year, the number recommended by the Ontario Mental Health and Addictions Leadership Advisory Council, and funding ongoing rent supplements and support staff costs. We will invest $228 million per year in capital funding, plus operational funding that increases by $50 million per year. We will increase supports for more than 190,000 Ontarians living with dementia, and for their families and caregivers. An NDP government will continue the $100 million in Ontario's. Will continue the $100 million in Ontario's dementia strategy over 3 years. These investments will continue to expand community dementia programs, respite care services, and crucial programs to help patients and families navigate dementia care and access the services that they need. Most urgently, we will make the investments needed to ensure that any young person in crisis can get the care they need. We will invest $590 million over 5 years to expand services and increase staff, based on recommendations by Children's Mental Health Ontario. We believe this will ensure every child gets care within 30 days. All right. So there you have it. There's the overhauling mental health and addictions services. And now, for whatever reason, I've now been kind of inspired to read another specific section, because I was reading the whole case managers thing. Let's go to the John Howard Society of Ontario. What is John Howard Society? The John Howard Society is a Canadian nonprofit organization that seeks to develop understanding and effective responses to the problem of crime and prison reform. It is named after John Howard, a philanthropist and early English prison reformer. Let's go to the actual website. John Howard. Here we go. John Howard Society of Canada. Services across Canada. 5-point plan. Get involved. Let's see. About us. John Howard's. This is the mission and values of the John Howard Society of Canada. John Howard Society fills an important role in public education, community service, and in pressing for reform in the criminal justice area. Currently, there are branches and offices in over 60 communities across Canada, provincial offices in all 10 provinces and the Northwest Territories, and a national office in Kingston. Mission and core values: effective, just, and humane responses to the causes and consequences of crime. In furtherance of its mission, this society works with people who have come into conflict with the law, reviews, evaluates, and advocates for changes in the criminal justice process, engages in public education on matters relating to criminal law and application, and promotes crime prevention through community and social development activities. Let's see. JS Philosophy. Just quickly saving that to iBooks. I'm not going to read everything here. Yeesh. Somebody on Twitch. We're back. I'm like, you streamed yesterday. From what I was notified anyway. Background. John Howard Society. Where are we coming from? The John Howard Society has always stood for a correctional system which seeks to protect members of the community from the effects of criminal activity while undertaking to treat offenders in such a way that having served their sentence, they are able to return to the life of a normal citizen better able to participate constructively in society. Since the 1960s, experience and research has led increasing numbers of people to view that some of the beliefs on which our correctional system has been constructed are inadequate. Specifically, it has been widely argued that we have to rethink our understanding of the relationship between punishment and rehabilitation, and that we should recognize that coercive rehabilitation is not possible. No longer can we assume that punishment can have or does have a deterrent or a rehabilitative impact on most offenders. This is not to deny that punishment sometimes serves to change the attitudes of those punished. Rather, it does not have that kind of impact as a matter of course. To the contrary, experience suggests that increasingly the punishment meted out by our courts either have no effect on those who are punished or are counterproductive. To tolerate a system which worsens offender attitudes towards society in general is to succeed in punishment but to fail in our ultimate goal, which is to assist the development of a society which is better and safer for everyone. It is our view that it is possible. First of all, the NDP, I just realized what I was doing here. The NDP isn't paying me. The Causeway Work Center isn't paying me. John Howard Society isn't paying me. And I forgot another one. Oh yeah, the Community Mental Health Association, they don't pay me either. None of these social services pay me. So don't be concerned that I'm using this to shill these services and then I get a check or something. Let's see where I think I lost my place here. Yeah, it is our view that it is possible to impose sanctions on those who have broken the law while leaving the door open to rehabilitation if we identify clearly what punishment consists of and what our obligations to offenders, particularly those sentenced to prison, are while they undergo incarceration. Where are we going? It is generally acknowledged that the system currently in place is generating problems which require attention. Faced with this fact, this is a temptation to offer piecemeal solutions focusing on issues like overcrowding, double bunking, inmate rights, gating, and so on. Concentrating on specific problems can obscure the fact that our system of corrections is a means to an end. Hence, any attempt to develop proposals for resolving current problems without first setting out a common understanding of the purpose of corrections might as well be self-defeating. Consequently, this belief focuses on the purpose of criminal law, and the place of corrections within it. So, that's John Howard Society, at least one of their... So this is a document, maybe I should link this in the episode. John Howard Society, Perspectives on Corrections Towards a Philosophy of Corrections. And by the way, I actually went back and I linked some of the sites. I put links in some of the episodes concerning mental health, and I forgot what the other one was. Mental health, Causeway and the CMHA. I'm gonna link John Howard Society and NDP in here too, just to stay on top of that. Let's see. I'm gonna read they have another PDF here. I know you guys can do this too. I know you guys are adults and you can do this, but not everybody will take the time to do it, so I'm going to do it. So here's the core statements, values, and principles of John Howard Society. The Society has adopted a series of statements which set out the mission, methods, and description of the Society. These core statements are as follows. Mission statement: effective, just, and humane responses to the causes and consequences of crime. Description: JHS of Canada is an organization of provincial and territorial societies comprised of and governed by people whose goal is to understand and respond to problems of crime and the criminal justice system. They are fiscally responsible for the continuance of the work and service of the national office. Methods: in furtherance of this mission, the society works with people who have come into conflict with the law, reviews, evaluates, and advocates for changes in the criminal justice process, engages in public education on matters relating to criminal law and its application, and promotes crime prevention through community and social development activities. Let me see. My iPad battery is about to die, so I gotta be careful. More specifically, the society engages in the following: advocacy, which includes active, planned, and frequent contact with the media, key government policy analysts, advisors, politicians, committees with respect to the promotion of the objectives of the JHS, research related to development and dissemination of briefs and positions on matters of national importance, communication with members and societies, community education, coalition building. I'm just going through. You guys can read this, like, you're adults. People have the right to live in a safe and peaceful society, as well as the responsibility implied by this right to respect the law. And there's various subpoints. Point 2. Every person has intrinsic worth and the right to be treated with dignity, equity, fairness, and compassion with discrimination. In particular, those involved in the criminal justice process should be treated in a manner that is consistent with the provisions of the Canadian Human Rights Act. Various subpoints. So that just gives you an idea what the John Howard Society is about. Again, reading through the NDP platform for some reason sparked a thought about the JHS. So there's that. I might hop back in here with another organization just to narrate some of their platforms here. Peace. For now. Okay, now we're back. We're back to the NDP platform document. We're going to read, well, you're going to listen, I'm going to read the section entitled Fighting the Opioid Emergency. This is important, people. This is important. So, fighting the opioid emergency. We will declare a public health emergency. We will distribute more naloxone kits. The opioid overdose emergency has now touched every community in Ontario. Deaths from drugs like fentanyl have cast a shadow on thousands of families. There's no question that the crisis has exacted an especially heavy toll on marginalized and vulnerable communities. For people living in poverty, who don't have stable housing, or who are coping with the legacy of colonialism and the pain of systemic racism, there's a much higher risk of dying. This emergency is unlike any Ontario has seen before, and that means addressing it in new, often unconventional ways. And it means addressing it with a sense of real urgency. Every day of inaction can cost lives. Our change for the better. Andrea Horvath and the NDP will declare a public health emergency, recognizing the scope and seriousness of the crisis and mobilizing resources across the province. We will focus most urgently on harm reduction to save lives now. We will expand the distribution of naloxone and other anti-overdose medications, and support the establishment and operation of supervised injection sites and overdose prevention sites wherever they are needed. And we will listen to frontline harm reduction workers and people with lived experience, because they are the experts and the heroes who are saving lives every day. Our investment in 30,000 new supportive housing units will help people who are ready to begin recovering, helping them rebuild their lives in a safe, stable home with services and supports they need. We will work with police services across the province, ensuring that they have the resources to pursue traffickers and high-level dealers, while recognizing addiction and treating addicts with dignity. And we will work with Opioid Emergency Task Force to provide evidence-based strategies to save lives and fight addiction. All right, so the next local social service that I'm going to highlight here briefly for the rest of this episode is Center 454. So you're probably wondering, what exactly is Center 454? Center 454 is a community ministry of the Anglican Diocese of Ottawa. Center 454 is a day program serving people who are precariously housed or homeless in the Ottawa area. We are committed to serving those who require assistance in the form of support services, social recreation, and essential needs. Social supports such as hospitality, daily activities, group activities, and special events. Practical supports including laundry and shower facilities, telephone and mailbox services, and essential clothing. Counseling support to individuals and groups. Help in navigating the application process for the ODSP support, the ODSP program, which is Ontario Disability Support Program. Spiritual support, including weekly prayer services, special services, and annual memorial services. With respect and dignity, we offer a safe space for men, women, and children to find community, friendship, peace, and new skills that will help them transform their lives. Since 1954, Center 454 has been working closely with the Anglican Diocese of Ottawa, the municipal, provincial, and federal governments, local businesses, community and church groups, donors, and volunteers. Although Center 454 provides supports to people who are homeless, 60% of those we serve are housed and need our support to maintain that housing. Without Center 454, many would be spending their days in very unsafe conditions or on the street. Many would suffer the damaging health effects that increase demand on hard-pressed emergency services, and many would lose the support they need to gain better control of their lives. There are many ways you can be a part of the Center 454 community. Browse through the website. There's also like a kind of like a bullet point frequently asked questions. Let's see. Is it Quick Facts? I was just on it. All right, well, I wasn't on it, but this isn't it, but we're going to read this anyway. Quick facts. Poverty and homelessness are a concern in Ottawa. Many of the participants in Center 454's programs live in poverty, and many of them are without a permanent home. While many who visit the center are single or unattached, the numbers of single parents, youth, and seniors who require our services are increasing. Poverty in Ottawa. The low-income measure, which is LIM, identifies households of various sizes with an after-tax income lower than 50% of the median income for all households, irrespective of the city size. In 2010, 11.7% of the population in Ottawa lived in poverty. That's 101,235 people. High rates of poverty were evident among the particular groups, which are the following: 18.6% of Aboriginal residents, 17.1% of immigrants, 34.7% of recent immigrants. That's really high, man. 21.1% of visible minority residents, 16.0% of people with disabilities, 13.1% of francophones. Who is poor? Unattached individuals or people not living in families are a very significant portion of Ottawa's poor, representing 1/3 of all low-income people in Ottawa. Of unattached individuals, 21.1% lived on low income in Ottawa. That's 34,020 individuals, compared to 11.7% for all individuals. Youth 18 to 24 have a very high rate of poverty, that's 19.2%, as well as children less than 6 years old, that's 15.2%. Seniors 65 years and over living alone are at a high risk of poverty. For seniors living alone, the poverty rate was 19.4% compared to 7% for all seniors. Most of seniors living alone who are poor are women, 74.8%. Yeesh. The numbers of working poor who work full-time but live in poverty are 19,840, 5.2%. And that's from Stats Canada National Household Survey. How we make a difference. Homelessness affects us all. The homeless population consists of men, women, and children of different ages, ethnic, family, and economic backgrounds, sexual orientation, religions, work experience, and education. Homelessness is a serious issue in Ottawa. 6,705 different men, women, youth, and families with children sought emergency shelter in Ottawa in 2013. Approximately 9,717 households are on the waiting list for social housing. I think I've said before, that's like a 3 to 5 year waiting list, I think. Support for the homeless is not enough. Ontario Works benefits for a single person was $606 per month in 2012. Average rent for a bachelor apartment was $766 per month. Minimum wage in Ontario is $11 per hour. For someone earning minimum wage, 49% of their income would be spent to cover the average rent on a bachelor apartment. There's a significant gap between what people earn and the kind of housing they can afford, putting minimum wage earners at a significant risk of homelessness. And I'm going to finish off with this. Center 454's response. Center 454 is one of 8-day programs offering services for people living in poverty and who are homeless or at a risk of homelessness. The center is open 5 days a week during the warm weather months, it's April to October, and 7 days a week during the colder months, November to March. In 2013, on average, 148 different people visited the center each day. We serve 1,200 cups of coffee daily, along with tea, juice, and nutritious snacks. One-on-one supportive counseling is provided by 2 staff for 24 hours per week. The center serves up to 600 people at our annual Christmas party. And then there's various report cards on homelessness. So this is, I know it's sad, but that's the reality. So you're listening to it. I'm going to hop back in with more from Center 454. Specifically, was it our services? Anyway, I'm going to find that. I'll be reading through the site, so stay tuned. Peace.